Welcome back. This is the Daily Brief. Still continue to follow reactions from Uasin Gishu County, specifically in Eldoret Town, where the Court of Appeal has upheld the election of Marakwet East, a Member of Parliament, Mr. Kangogo Bowen. We shall keep you up to speed about how that is going on. This is following a voter who went to challenge his election, citing quite a number of grounds, including lack of fairness and lack of due process being followed by the Independent Electoral Boundaries Commission. We shall cross over there a little bit later. But in the meantime, that particular discussion has actually opened up what has been happening within the corridors of justice. Part of my panelists here think that it is a reality that we have to live in, that even sections of the judiciary are corrupt themselves. So begging the question, how are we going to win the war against graft? Jim.
As I was saying, Ian, before you cut me off, that there is serious corruption within the courts, and we saw that highlighted a while back. But even you look at how chicken thieves are easily hoarded into prisons very fast, as compared to people who've accused of stealing billions of shillings. So, and even as we were talking here a while back, there's something wrong happening at the lower courts, and here it's the High Court. That is not happening at the Court of Appeal or at the High Court, where every case that originates from there is constantly being overturned. What is it that we're not getting right at those lower courts that is being gotten right at the Court of Appeal? I think until you address that and get someone to offer serious leadership at the High Court so that there is adherence to the law and to procedures of law, then we might have a hard day, because that is the court of origin.
Okay, before I hear the rest of the gentlemen, I understand there's a press briefing happening right now. Education Cabinet Secretary Ambassador Amina Mohammed speaking alongside NAT's Secretary General Wilson Sosion. The two have not been, speaking from the same script. Let's hear what they have to say right now.
She has been touring the country and meeting stakeholders, and we will continue consulting together, because this is a matter that must be brought to an end. But for today, and for this minute, we've been dealing with the ECD matter, but the Cabinet Secretary is at liberty to make her statements the way she wishes.
No, well, I think it's clear that these unrests are totally unwelcome. We do not want them. We expect them to end. We want them to end immediately. And we've also said many times over that anyone who is involved in them is committing a crime or is an accomplice to a crime. And therefore, those that are apprehended will be taken to court and they'll be prosecuted. And I hope that that is a warning to anybody who wishes to engage in illegal activities, right, in committing crimes or engaging in criminal offenses. We will not accept it. We will not tolerate it as a country. We are a country that is a country of the rule of law. We are instilling good governance in our country, and we will not accept that our children are made to break the law. We will not accept that.
Madam Waziri, if I may, the issue of yesterday, the Senate committee and the chairs here said that maybe we should form a task force to try and prove this one. But as we move forward, there's still a report, the 2016-2017 report. It's yet to be fully implemented. What is the current status of that report?
Oh, we've implemented 75% of it, and I had that discussion with you in my office. I told you that we've implemented most of it. What is left will be implemented as soon as possible. Obviously, we will need to engage other stakeholders to make sure that what is left is also implemented quickly. But we've done most of the work that was expected of us. And, look, let's not look for any pretext. A crime is a crime is a crime. If it's committed, we must deal with it. And it doesn't matter who commits it, whether it's an adult or a minor.
Some of the vulnerabilities we're seeing in schools, might we say that it is from the school side that they're not...
I'm sorry, no pretext. No pretext. You torch a dormitory, you torch a classroom, you are held responsible. Everything else can be discussed around the table, right? We can all speak to each other. We all speak the same languages. If we don't, we'll get interpreters. Any issues can be resolved. You cannot start torching buildings because you have a certain concern. Not acceptable.
Some of these schools have been closed just a few months to the national examination. When are we likely
the exams will take place.
The exams. To see these schools reopen?
Well, they will reopen when we decide that the schools are safe enough to allow learners to come back in. We will also do that when we have apprehended all those that are involved.
And are the ones who've been apprehended, are they going to sit with the national examination? And if they are, they're going to sit.
Well, we'll wait until that process, the legal process, is over. I don't think I can answer that question right now.
The issue SG Nata has raised about delocalization of teachers as being the main reason, but in your statement you said it's about fear of examination. You can address the issue of delocalization.
We don't want to be simplistic. We don't want to be simplistic. We'll address all these issues, right? Moving forward, we all have different mandates. Certain things fall in other offices. We're all sitting and discussing what we think could be the cause. No, there's no pretext. There is no pretext. You touch a building, you are held responsible. And all these other reasons, right, are issues that can be discussed and resolved around the table. Right? But children should not be touching their dormitories. How do they expect to come back to school? Where will they sleep? Why should the investment that the whole country has made, because we are all taxpayers, right, be whatever they up in smoke, should not be going up in smoke. So anyway, as I said before, the law will take its course, and we will decide on when to open the schools when we think they're safe and we've apprehended the accomplices and those that have committed those offenses.
Yes, lastly from me, concerning today's, the ECD teachers have raised a very serious concern. They want the employment of ECD teachers to be taken to the TSC.
Well, that is a it's a multi-agency and different levels of government issue. We are again consulting, and we will find a solution and a way forward. Well, I've said that before. Government will not reconstruct Bant. Well, I'm sorry, but somebody will have to pay. Somebody will have to pay for it. No tuition allowed. There's a policy, there's a government policy.
I think questions are enough.
Yeah, questions.
You've had an
Thank you very
opportunity to
much.
meet the CS one-on-one.
Yes, we have.
Reserve some for me, ECD is the Bob.
Education Cabinet Secretary Ambassador Amina Mohammed and Nats Wilson Sosion, she has just reiterated the Riot Act, which parts of it states that if any student is found culpable of any crime at the school level, Albert, kindly let me have this off, they risk being punished for life. This is because those mistakes, or rather their judgments, will be written on their school certificate. Let me just hear from Colonel all the way to Jude.
Yes, thank you, Ian. I think my view is that we are treating symptoms, not the disease. In this time and age, during our time, I never even imagined that I could burn a school. When I was in school, I did not even have matches, so I could not even burn it. I was not even allowed to go to a petrol station to go and buy fuel.
What has changed, Colonel?
What has changed is this. We are loving our children so much that there is no discipline within the family unit. A child will do whatever they want, they will cry, we will call her Mami, we will call the other one Daddy, we will give them everything they want, they will have no responsibility. When I used to wake up, I have to make my bed, I have to sweep my room.
They say this is the modern child, Colonel.
It can be modern, it cannot be modern, but these are the results of that modernity that you want. Okay. There is no place on earth, even in any corporation, in any system, there must be some discipline, there must be some rules, there must be a way of doing things that everybody knows, and they know if they don't do it, there's a problem, there are consequences. So what we are doing as a family unit, when we have already spoiled the child, we take the child to school, and we expect the school.
I think it's a combination of a lot of things.
There are a lot of things. This is only one of them.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. Charles, some say the retracting of corporal punishment has also contributed to this.
I think moving forward, the aspect of corporal punishment might not really work, because society again is changing. Even a few years ago, Jude will tell you that murder suspects and even basic misdemeanor, people never used to get bail. But now we are getting bail for even people who are in remand for matters related to murder. What we are saying is it's a lot of issues that are combined over here. Number one, are we as society overemphasizing academics? against everything else. So they expect, you expect too much from your kids, and you push them such that if they feel they're not good enough academically, they don't want to face that examination. Our days, those people who used to be very good athletes, footballers and all that, were celebrated across the society. They were loved, and as we speak today, they're doing very well, and with a lot of respect to us guys that pursued academics. But that's the bottom line. Society, again, when we were young, we used to be disciplined at home. It was not waiting for us to go to school so that we can receive discipline from there. I remember parents who would walk into school because there's a complaint from the teachers, and they even thrash you themselves in front of the other students and the teachers. So I think it's multifaceted. We need to look at it across the board, but importantly, this thing about banning schools must be looked into, because it cannot be allowed to happen. And the issue of administrative justice is something that needs again to be looked into, because you'll find yourself being hauled into court by parents and civil society across the country if you do it wrong.
Jude, as a legislator, do you support the stand of the DCI as well as the Education Ministry in regards to some of the measures that will be taken in place? That if a child is found culpable, these particular details will be captured in their school certificate?
First, I would like to commend Honorable Amina and Honorable Sosion for showing us that they can work together without necessarily fighting. That's a good sign that maybe they are going to make this education sector a better sector where the teacher is comfortable doing his or her work. On punishment of these students who are banning their schools, I agree they are criminals, and they should be dealt with like criminals. There are cultures that we have formed, and I agree with Kano Mwema when he says that we have spoiled our children completely. I remember there's a video going around in the social media where a girl, I think he is from America, is being interviewed in a TV station, and she claims that the parents have made her get used to a certain standard of living. So now she says that standard has to be maintained. She has a Mercedes, but she wants another car, and she doesn't want anything less than that, and she wants a certain amount of money every week to spend. But when the interviewer introduces her to concept of doing some work, she bursts into tears because she has never worked. That is the kind of child that we are bringing up. A child who wants a certain standard of living but does not want to work for it. And those are the kids.
The question is, does the curriculum or the school system capture all this, or rather take in these new challenges?
You see, our curriculum has been based more on academic. So maybe that is what we need to change, to realize that these children are not getting formational, what do I call it? They are not being formed at home.
Social education.
Social education. So when they come to school, the teacher and the curriculum must understand that this child needs to be strengthened in terms of his social capacity. That way, we will be able to change our child. But our schools now are just focused on academics, but the children are focused elsewhere.
Jim.
Ian, allow me to disagree with everyone on this panel on this. A majority of the people speaking come from the Moi and Kenyatta era. An era where you could not question anything.
You're referring to this gentleman as
Yes, exactly. Exactly. And it's true. I mean, I'm not saying that in a bad way, but an era where you could not question anything. An era where you were oppressed and you had to keep quiet and bear with it. The children that we are raising have a level of identity and they are more expressive. Our schools are being run like prisons, the same way the Chinese are treating Kenyans in the SGR. That is the same way principals and teachers are treating kids in school. Bathrooms that have no doors. You eat for 15 minutes there Monday to Friday. Now, they are sitting here and telling us that kids need to be satisfied with the bare minimum and that is fine because they went through it and they made it that their children should also go through the same and also be satisfied with it. These children are not satisfied. They are more expressive than you.
So is this an issue of parenthood here?
It's not an issue of parenthood, but it's an issue of evolution, as they were pointing out, that the kids have evolved, but the parents have remained the same.
Gentlemen,
and the systems have remained the same.
What Jim is simply telling you that change is inevitable.
I think we need to
We need to respond to him.
Yes,
we need
yes,
to
yes.
respond.
And I'll give you a chance to respond to that. Change is inevitable, is what he's saying.
Yeah,
Therefore,
yeah.
we should,
That's fine.
We should put in
But
mind
the way he
that-
has put it is a bit not
I'll
nice.
give you a chance to respond. Now, there is something very interesting happening. Karen Kibet is seeing through some inmates football competition, Pioneers Prisoners World Cup. I don't know if we have her ready, Albert, so that we can cross over. Okay, we're trying to get Karen Kibet there. She's at the Committee Maximum Prison, where they're having their very own version of the World Cup. And of course, all eyes are on Sunday. But before we even get to that, Karen, tell us more about this.
Thank you very much, Ian Ofula. I'm getting you loud and clear from Committee Prisons. And as I've overheard your interview in the studio talking about the students who are not, behaving well. If they don't behave well, they might as well end up here. But for today, we are here with the footballers from Committee Prison, from Nairobi West prisons, from various prisons around the country. But in goodwill, as they get to experience and also have memories of the World Cup, it not only shows that the people living free out there are the only ones watching World Cup. They also have a great opportunity, to watch the World Cup and experience every detail of it. And actually, they get to play football here. And as my cameraman Kirong, can just pan into the field, that is the media team right there. That they came all the way to play with the various players here, so as to the media team represents a team in the World Cup. We have today the Committee Prisons. They represent France in the World Cup. And it's so interesting as when the 2018 FIFA World Cup kicked off, the Prisons World Cup also kicked off at the same time. And the opening match, which was between Committee Maximum and the Committee Remand, they actually they registered the same score, which was 5-1. And it's just the same as how Russia and Saudi Arabia registered their score in the first opening match of the FIFA 2018 World Cup. So it's very interesting that their games have also progressed as how the World Cup has progressed. And right now, today they will be playing the third place, which is Belgium and England. They also have their team, which is the Nairobi West and the Committee Maximum. They will be playing together. And also the final, which is between France and Croatia. There's also a team that will be representing that final. So right now, I'm going to be joined with one of the players from Committee Maximum. He's called Tedium. Before he came here, he was a well-known footballer. He played for the Kenya Premier League. He had scaled to so many heights. But the fact that he's here hasn't limited him to play football. So Tedium, kindly join us. Tell us, how has these games, been for you?
Zimekuwa poa na pia zimenipatia motisha na pia zimefanya at least nikiwa hapa ndani life imekuwa at least rahisi kidogo juu wakati niko kwa games na engage kwa games sifikiri mambo mingi, so imefanya mambo imekuwa rahisi. Yeah.
And also this particular games has enabled you people to interact with people from out there. How has that made you feel as a person?
Imenifanya nimesikia poa sana kwa sababu hawa ndugu zangu wamekuja hapa leo. Tulionana nao kitambo sana. Na tumecheza nao toka utotoni mpaka tumecheza level za Premier. Tumekuwa nao pamoja. So leo imekuwa reunion nyingine tu poa sana, nimefurahi na as a whole, yani kwa wafungwa kwa jumla tumefurahi sana. Ndio.
Na wewe uko team Committee Maximum na mulifika finali. Mko sure mtachapa team Croatia? Hiyo ni team Remand. Mko sure mtawachapa?
Yeah, in fact hii tutaichukua hii kikombe. Kwa mara nyingine tutaichukua tena kwa sababu tumeprepare vizuri na tumecheza game zetu kulingana vile tumecheza, tuko unbeaten, hatujafungwa. Yeah, na tuna matarajio tutachukua hii kikombe. Ndio.
So what has been the highlight of this particular tournament for you?
Highlight ni kwamba kuinteract na watu wa raia. Yeah, kukuja watu kwa sababu kumekuja wageni. Na wageni tuliona kitambo ni majina kubwa pia.
Kama kina nani?
Kama kina Kimanzi ambapo tumecheza naye Madhare, Musa Otieno. Yeah, coach mdogo wa national team na wengine ndio.
Thank you so much. That was Stadium. He has played for the Kenya Premier League when he had the opportunity. So, Ian Wafula, as you've heard, this is a tournament which has, brought light and, encouraged the prisoners in here that you can still have fun in life. So, thank you very much, Ian Wafula. Back to you in studio.
Thank you very much for that, Karen Kibet. We're taking a short commercial break. When we come back, we finish on issues on schools unrest as well as matters corruption as we continue to follow other stories as they develop. Stay tuned.